What's up, Ravens? Welcome to your first edition of ONW Now. I'm Bryce Lundgren alongside Libby Bandy.
Today we'll tell you all about GSA, introduce you to our new foreign exchange students, give you details on homecoming week, and go inside Raven Athletics with Game Day Northwest.
Let's get this thing started. GSA is a great place for students to learn about LGBT matters. However, this year it is slightly different. Luke Volker has all the details.
Doesn't know a lot. Hey, come, I want you to see what GSA is.
You may have heard of the GSA and that it stood for Gay Straight Alliance. However, this year it is under a new name.
We are identifying as the Gender Sexuality Alliance. In the past, we've been known as the Gay Straight Alliance.
With more acceptance in the modern era, more and more people are able to come to terms with their own sexuality and gender.
We felt that Gay Straight Alliance it wasn't inclusive enough because there's more than just being gay, there's lesbian, bisexual, transgender.
The GSA is not only limited to LGBT students.
At the end of the year, there will be students who say, I didn't even know what the GSA was. And they'll come to a meeting and they'll say, wow, there's so much I didn't know or understand.
As well as education, the GSA provides resources, advice, and support for all students.
I feel like it can be a good resource for people who want to learn more about it or just for people who are questioning or want to transition.
For ONW Now, this has been Luke Volker. Now back to the desk.
Miss Maring, an administrator here at Olathe Northwest, and student Ty Kennedy are pumping some serious iron and winning championships throughout the Midwest. You definitely don't want to mess with these two. Let's take it to Riley Kramer and Roan Stanley, who will pump you up with the story.
For most people, weightlifting is just a form of working out. But for Ty Kennedy and Miss Maring, it's a sport.
It's kind of like an unknown sport out there. Usually when you tell people that you're a weightlifter, they're like, that's a sport. So it's fun. If you love doing it, then go for it. Just try local competitions and see how you do. Go into the gym, practice.
Ty explained to us what goes on during a normal lifting competition.
So what I do in competitions is I get 3 different weights for my snatch and then 3 different weights for my clean and jerk, and I attempt all 3. And if I make them, then I make it. And then your total is the 2 highest numbers you make, and try to qualify for nationals and so on.
Miss Maring also enjoys competing, and she described to us how she got started.
I started CrossFit back in, I think it was 4 years ago. And then I changed over, I did some strength and conditioning, and then I decided to try the Olympic lifting, just basically in the last 6 months. I would advise you to try it. It's one of those things that kind of you just become a little addicted, and then you just want to get better. And it doesn't matter how little or how much you're lifting, you just start. That's a lot of fun.
For ONW Now, this has been Riley Kramer and Roan Stanley.
Leaving home to study abroad is never easy, but can be very rewarding. Gabby Thomas and Sydney Weeks talked to one of ONW's foreign exchange students about his decision to study in America.
Every year, Olathe Northwest welcomes students from around the world to experience what life is like here in America. We sat down with Gabe Calixto, a student from Brazil, to talk about why he chose to become a foreign exchange student.
I think it's more for like the experience because I never seen a lot of stuff that's been here. And I'm being quite independent, and that's gonna help me in the future.
Going to school in America is much different than being a student in Brazil.
Like my school, we have elementary and middle school and high school, everything together in the same space and same organization.
Sophomore Erica Bay has been Gabe's host for his stay here in America. She told us what it's like to live with someone from another country.
Get to know a lot of things about Brazil and his country and culture.
Although only staying until the end of the school year, Gabe has big goals he hopes to achieve before returning to Brazil.
I was hoping to become more independent, doing my own stuff, and English, I need to get better and being a better person.
For ONW Now, this has been Gabby Thomas and Sydney Weeks. Now, back to the desk.
We're excited to welcome you to Olathe Northwest and hope you've been enjoying your year so far.
Homecoming is right around the corner. Be sure to tweet your homecoming proposals to hashtag ONWHC16.
After a quick homecoming promo, we'll send it over to Game Day Northwest for the latest on Raven sports.
And now it's one shot of me saying awards.
Hey Ravens, welcome to Game Day Northwest. I'm Nick Lopez alongside Alex Cable.
Today we recapped on last Friday's football game, Thursday's volleyball matches, a football soccer promo, and top 5 plays of the week.
Let's roll. Anyone that participates in high school sports knows how time-consuming these activities can be. Here at ONW, it is common to find students that are multi-sport athletes, but what is not as common is to find athletes who participate in multiple sports in the same season. Bryce Lundgren, Matt Vanderslice, and Zach Clay have the story.
Seniors Charlie Holmgren and David Boschma, both varsity soccer players, are also going to be playing a major role in the football team this year, with David kicking and Charlie punting.
I got into playing football because Coach Cooper asked me to, and I'd done it before, and I knew I could do it.
Charlie and David talk about the struggles of playing both sports.
Finding time to practice, or going to practice and figuring out when to be there and stuff.
It's time to practice and everything. I mean, it's trying to find time after soccer to go over to football and kick a few times because it's pretty busy.
We also sat down with Mr. Gunnarsson and talked about the game against Lee Summit North on Thursday, September 15th, and how varsity soccer is going to be playing at 5 o'clock so that Charlie and David can play football at 7 o'clock.
So when I found out that we had a scheduling conflict with both football and soccer being scheduled on the same evening, I went to Coach Graham and asked him if he would want to do a doubleheader and then also talk to Coach Butler and Coach Sherman to see if they were game for that as well. Coach Graham was willing to move the game to 5 o'clock so that we could get a bigger crowd for both games.
He also talks about the conflicts with scheduling having 2 varsity soccer players and football players.
It ended up hurting us a little bit at Goddard, obviously. With not having those, it would have been nice to have them for a field goal early. Could have helped with field position and also, definitely in overtime kicking it as opposed to going for 2. I think that's just something that you have to live with. If when you decide as a football coach that you're going to have soccer players as your punter and kicker, it's not always ideal because of that. But I think what coach is able to get out of those 2 definitely outweighs missing them for one game.
Make sure to come out and support your Ravens at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock this Thursday.
After dropping a heartbreaker to Goddard in their season opener, the Raven football team looked to bounce back as they battled crosstown rival Olathe East at Seaback Friday night. Rowan Stanley has the highlights.
Raven Nation showed out in full force on Friday as Northwest took on crosstown rivals Olathe East. After 2 first-quarter touchdowns, the game turned into a defensive struggle until Charlie Pfister got loose for a 45-yard touchdown run, making it 14-7. The great defense continued, including some nice stops from Hunter Patterson and Jake England, along with a hard hit from Cody Marley, until East found its equalizer in the third quarter. A hard-fought game led to another overtime heartbreaker as Northwest fell 20-14.
Last Thursday, the Lady
Volleyball team had a quad against Olathe North, Olathe East, and Leavenworth. Olathe North was the first victim to fall to the Ravens on Thursday night. ONW was led all night by the seniors. After beating Leavenworth, the girls took on rival Olathe East. Olathe East gave the Ravens a tough time, but ONW won the match. For Game Day Northwest, this has been Alyssa Clinton and Nick Lopez. Now back to the desk.
With 2 weeks worth of fall sports in the books, ONW has had plenty of awesome plays. Here's the first top 5 Raven plays of the week.
Welcome to the Olathe Northwest Top Plays of the Week. At number 5, we have a nice recovery by the Lady Ravens volleyball team during their game against Blue Valley West. At the number 4 spot, we have a huge hit by Hunter Patterson during their season opener against Goddard. Coming in at number 3, we have a great pass by Easton Crawford to tight end Matt Vanderslice for a touchdown. Following the touchdown, we have a nice 2-point conversion catch by Joe Hatsfield at the number 2 spot. And at number 1, we have a fantastic save by goalkeeper Charlie Holmgren during the Olathe East match. This has been Cooper Kate. Now back to the desk.
That's all for Game Day Northwest. Let's send it back to Libby and Bryce.
Awards are meant to be celebrated, but for one ONW coach, it means a little bit more. Alex Gable and Ryan Atchison have the story.
It's cool. You know, awards are awards.
Last year, Coach Bell was awarded 6A State Track Coach of the Year with the girls' team placing second and boys placing ninth.
It's recognition for our team and our coaching staff on what we accomplished last year, which I thought was pretty cool.
Earning this award, Coach Bell remembers his inspiration for coaching.
A guy named Mike Wallace, he was my head track coach. He coached at Olathe East. He's the head coach still today. And he was kind of a mentor to me and kind of helped me out when I was in high school.
To some track athletes, Bell is more than just a coach.
I'm happy that he got the award. I kind of look up to Coach Bell as a second dad, but I'm really happy, and he deserves it because he really changed the track program and turned it around for the better.
Bell is putting the award behind him and looking forward to this year's track season.
I think goals is just to improve. You know, our big thing is never to look at big picture things and concentrate on those, but to worry about the day-to-day stuff.
For ONW Now, it's been Alex Gable and Ryan Atchison. Now back to the desk.
That's all for us today, Ravens. As we conclude our show, we bring some of the sights and sounds from the Old Settlers Parade this past weekend.
For Bryce Lundgren, I'm Libby Bandy. Have a great week, Ravens.